on, students, to the homework assignment, page 19, 13 through 21 odd, and 23 through 39 all. Okay, let's jump right into this. The first section, numbers 13 through 21 odd, you are given an algebraic expression, and you are given a value for the variable. Okay, and then you're going to make the substitution, then evaluate it. Okay, so here we go. Notice for each problem I've put the steps down here for you to look at. You should have these in your notes also. Okay, alright, here we go. Number 3 excuse me, number 13. We have 3 plus 2, then x, so put parentheses, substitute 2, and then bring down your 3. Okay, now we looked at this in lesson 1.2. Do you multiply the two 2's right here and put a 4, and then do your exponents? Not at all. We do our powers first. Let's look at our order of operations. Okay, make sure that all parentheses and brackets are simplified down to one number on the inside. So here's a parentheses. Do you see it? Here's a parentheses. Yes or no? Is it simplified down to one number? Yes, it is. Totally and completely. Okay? So on to step 2. Do all powers, roots, and radicals. Okay? Here is my power. So I do that first. So I bring down my 3. I bring down my plus sign. I bring down my 2. And then I have 2 to the third power. That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. If you don't like to put a parenthesis here, no problem. You can put a dot if you want to. But either way, understand this 2 is being multiplied times this group. What do we do next? All multiplication and division. So do not put 3 plus 2 is 5 times 8. Do not do that. Okay? Do your multiplication and division first, going from left to right. There's multiplication, so 3 plus 16 would then give you 19, and that is the correct answer. Number 15. Okay, students, here we go. We have 6 times 2 and then a p. So put parentheses, p equals 5, put a 5, and then square it. Go through your steps carefully. Make sure that all parentheses and brackets are simplified down to one number. Does this parentheses have one number on the inside? Yes, it does. So step 1 is finished. Step 2, do our powers, roots, and exponents. I have a power right here, or powers, roots, and radicals. I have a power right here. So I take care of that first. So I have 6 times 2 times 25, because 5 squared is 25. Step 3, do all multiplication and division from left to right. Well, 6 times 2 is 12 times 25, and 12 times 25 would be 300. Alright, moving on. Number 17. 13 plus 3, parentheses for b, put a 7 in for b, and here we go. Are all of my parentheses and brackets simplified down to one number on the inside? Yes. Do you see any powers, roots, or radicals? No. Do all multiplication and division first. Well, I see multiplication right here. So I have 13 plus 21. 13 plus 21 is 34. Pretty simple. Number 19. Okay, I have x over 7, so parentheses over 7, x equals 14 plus 16. Are all of my parentheses and brackets simplified down to one number? Yes, they are. Here's a parentheses. I have one number on the inside. Next step, do all powers, roots, and radicals. There are none. Step 3, do all multiplication and division. Well, I see some division. It's right here. 14 over 7 is 14 divided by 7, which is 2, plus 16, which is 18. And that is the correct answer, 18. Number 21. Alright, I have 4/5 divided by n, so parentheses, n equals 1/5, plus 13. Okay, step 1. Are all my parentheses and brackets simplified down to one number? Yes, they are. Here's a parentheses. I have one number on the inside, 1/5. Do I have any powers, roots, or radicals? No, I do not. However, do all multiplication and division from left to right. So here we go. I see division right here. Do you remember how to do this, guys? Remember, when you're dividing fractions, you change the division to a multiplication, and you flip the fraction over here. And then we can cancel. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 5 once. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1, and of course 4 over 1 is just 4. So 4/5 divided by 1/5 is 4, and then bring down your 13. 4 plus 13 is 17. Number 23. Alright, here we go. Step 1 is completed. There's no parentheses or brackets. Step 2, I'm sorry, let me back up. So now numbers 23 through 37, there's no substitution, just problems that we're going to solve, okay? And from now on, always in all of your math from now on, you're always going to use order of operations, okay? Always. Excuse me, sorry. Step 1, there are no parentheses and brackets. Step 2, there are no powers, roots, and radicals. Step 3, there's no multiplication or division. So step 4, addition and subtraction. 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 minus 1 is 12. Okay, step 1, there are no parentheses or brackets. Step 2, there are no powers, roots, or radicals. Step 3, do all multiplication and division in order from left to right. I see multiplication here, and this is division, but it's not even. In other words, if I had 18 over 9, then that equals 2, okay? If it's a fraction like this, in which if you divide that out, you get a decimal, I would just leave that alone for now, okay? I would say 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 5 nines is obviously 6 and 5 nines. If you want to write that as an improper fraction, 9 times 6 is 54, plus 5 is 59, so 59 over 9 is also acceptable. Either one of those two answers is fine. Number 25. Okay, there are no parentheses or brackets. There are no powers, roots, or radicals. Step 3, multiplication and division. Well, here's division. Here's multiplication. Remember, listen. You do not do multiplication first. You do multiplication and division first, going from left to right. So if this problem would have said 6 divided by 3 times 2, you would first do the division, and then the multiplication. You go left to right. Okay? So I see division and multiplication. 6 divided by 3 is 2, plus 2 times 7 is 14, and 2 plus 14 is 16. And there we go. Number 26. There are no parentheses or brackets. There are no powers or roots. Do all multiplication and division. So let's see. I have no division. I have one multiplication problem. So 5 plus 16 minus 4. 5 plus 16 is 21 minus 4, which is 17. Alright, moving on. Is that right? Yeah, number 27. Okay, here we go. Step 1, there are no parentheses or brackets. However, we do have a power. Okay, let's do step 2. There's my power right there, so I have 16 divided by 8 times what? 4, because 2 to the second power is 2 times 2, which is 4. Next, do all multiplication and division in order from left to right. So here's division, and then multiplication. 16 divided by 8 is 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? Now a lot of students would think they should take 16 divided by 32. They do the multiplication first. That's wrong. You do multiplication and division both as you see them going from left to right. Okay, so 16 divided by 8 is 2. Not sure why I keep writing 8. And then 7. 3 times 3 is 9. Step 3, multiplication and division. Well, here's multiplication and then division. 2 times 9 is 18. Now here's where it gets interesting. 18 divided by 7 really means this, does it not? So to be honest with you, I have no problem with you writing your answer like that. That is totally fine. If you want to write it as a mixed number, that's fine. 7 goes into 18 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14, so you have a remainder of 4. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Or if you want to write a decimal answer, I have no problem with that. Put it 18 and add some zeros, that's fine. Put a 7, that'd be 30, and so on. It keeps going on. You could just round it and put 2.57 if you wanted to. Okay? Whatever you like to do is fine. Okay? Alright, moving on. Number 29. Alright, finally some parentheses. Step 1. Make sure your parentheses and brackets are simplified down to one number. Here's a parentheses. Do I have one number in there? No, I do not. Let's fix that. 10 divided by 5 plus 9. There we go. Okay, students, sorry, I had to pause the video there. I'm not sure what I said last, but 3 plus 2 is 5. So step 1 is now done. My parentheses is simplified down to one number. There are no powers, roots, or radicals. So step 3, multiplication and division. I do see division, no multiplication. 10 divided by 5 is 2, plus 9, which is 11. Number 30. Okay, good. Now we got some brackets and we got some parentheses. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, obviously I can take 18 minus 6 and get this parentheses down to one number. So 7 bracket 12 minus 6. So everybody see where that 12 came from? 18 minus 6 is 12. Now my parentheses is down to one number, but my bracket is not down to one number. So let's get our bracket down to one number, okay? 12 minus 6 is 6. There we go. Step 1 is finished. All of my parentheses and brackets are simplified down to one number, okay? There's no powers and roots. I do have multiplication. 7 times 6 is 42. Alright, moving on. 31. Okay, now I've got a bracket here and a parentheses here. We got some work to do, don't we? Let's first of all get this parentheses down to one number, okay? So I have 3 to the second power plus 3, okay? Does everybody see what I did? I took this parentheses and I got it down to one number. Now let's get this bracket down to one number, okay? Powers first. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So now my bracket is down to one number. Does everybody see that okay? Remember, when you do step 1, in other words, when you are getting your parentheses and brackets simplified down to one number, make sure you use steps 2 through 4. So when I was simplifying this right here, I did my exponents first. 3 times 3 is 9, and then added 3, which is 12, okay? Now, 12 plus 15, 27, and we're finished, okay? Number 32. Alright, step 1, make sure your parentheses and brackets are all simplified down to one number on the inside. So obviously this parentheses here needs a little bit of work. So don't let decimals freak you out, no big deal. We have 2.7 divided by what? 0.9. We should know from elementary school and middle school how to do this. You never want a decimal on the outside here with your divisor, so you move it one place so it's gone. But if you move this decimal one place, you must also move this decimal one place too. So now I have 9 going into 27. 0.9 became 9. 2.7 became 27. How many times does 9 go into 27? 3 times. So 2.7 divided by 0.9 powers, roots, and radicals. Step 3, do all multiplication and division. So here's my multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 5 is 4. Okay, 33. Okay, let's take our parentheses here and let's simplify that down to one number. Okay, so I have 6 parentheses 2 to the second power positive 3. Does everyone see where the 2 came from? 5 minus 3 is 2. Step 2, let's take care of our powers. Here's my power, so I have 6 times 4 plus 3. Because 2 times 2 is 4, so I write my 4. Okay. Step 3, do all multiplication and division as you see them from left to right. Well, here's my multiplication. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 3, which is 27. Okay. Alright, number 34. Okay, we've got a bracket and a parentheses. Let's get this simplified down to one number. Let's start with the parentheses first, okay? I do my powers first. 5 times 5 is, we can do this in our head right here, students, okay? 5 times 5 is 25. Times 2 is 50. So in my parentheses, I have 50. Okay? So my parentheses is simplified down to one number. Now let's get my bracket simplified down to one number, okay? I have 10 plus 50 is 60. There we go. Step 1 is completed. Make sure that all parentheses and brackets are simplified down to one number. Did it. Step 2, there are no powers, roots, and radicals. Step 3, do all multiplication and division as you see them from left to right. Well, 60 divided by 6 is 10, and we are finished. Number 35. Okay, step 1, let's simplify our parentheses down to one number. So 1/3, and then 27 inside the parentheses plus 18. Okay? Now, how do we take 1/3 times 27? Do y'all remember how to do that from earlier years? 1/3 times 27 over 1. 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 27 9 times. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. 9 over 1 is 9. So 1/3 times 27 is 9 plus 18, which is 27. Alright. Okay, moving on to number 36. Okay, step 1 is already done. There are no parentheses or brackets for us to worry about. Step 2, we do have an exponent to worry about. So I have 1/2 times 26 minus 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? Step 2 is finished. Step 3, do all multiplication and division. Well, I see a multiplication problem right here. So I have 1/2 times 26 over 1. 2 goes into 2. 2 goes into 26 13 times. 1 times 13 is 13. 1 times 1 is 1. 13 over 1 is 13. So 1/2 times 26 is 13. Minus 9, which of course would give you 4. Okay. Alright, number 27. Step 1, there are no parentheses or brackets. Step 2, we do have an exponent, so let's take care of that. I have 2.5 times. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25. Let me show you where I got that, okay? 0.5 times 0.5. 5 times 5 is 25. How many decimal places do I have here? 1. How many decimal places do I have here? 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I go over 2 places. 1, 2. So 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25. Okay? A lot of students get confused. They think that you bring the decimal straight down. They bring the decimal straight down. They put 2.5. You only bring the decimal straight down when you're adding or subtracting, not multiplying. Alright? Now, my powers are taken care of. So step 3, do all multiplication and division. Well, I see 2.5 times 0.25. So 2.5 times 0.25, right? How many decimal places here? 1. How many decimal places here? 2. Add those together, you get 3. So go over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So 2.5 times 0.25 is 0.625. Okay? And then divide it by 5. Let's divide that out and we're finished, okay? 0.625 divided by 5. Now there's no reason to move your decimal, okay? The only time you move your decimal is when the divisor, that's the number outside the box, has a decimal that you want to get rid of, okay? That's not the case with the 5, alright? So bring your decimal straight up. 5 goes into 6 once. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. Bring down your 2. 5 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract. Bring down your 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So 0.625 divided by 5 is 0.125. And that is the correct answer. Okay, students, now the last two problems, 38 and 39, are a little more different, okay? They're called complex fractions. Well, actually, they're not called. A complex fraction technically is a fraction within a fraction. But what we have here are fractions that can be simplified up top in the numerator and also down here in the denominator, okay? By the way, if you struggle with remembering numerator and denominator, just remember down at the bottom, going down below denominator, think of the letter D. Down is denominator, okay? Alright, let's go to the numerator, okay? Let's simplify the numerator. 9 times 2 is 18, alright? Now let's simplify the denominator. I see no parentheses or brackets to worry about. I do see an exponent though, okay? 4 plus what? 4 plus 9, right? 4 plus 9 minus 1 because 3 squared is 9. Okay, no multiplication or division, so let's finish it up. 4 plus 9 is 13, minus 1 is 12. So there we go. Now a lot of you think, oh, that's a fine answer. It is okay, I don't mind you leaving your answer as an improper fraction. No problem. But it must be reduced. If it's not reduced, you're going to lose points on my quizzes and tests, okay? So, reduce this. 6 goes into both of these numbers. 6 goes into 18 3 times. And 6 goes into 12 2 times. So here's one answer you can have. That is totally acceptable. Or if you want to write this as a mixed number, I have no problem with that. If you want to write it as a decimal, I have no problem with that. Okay? Any of those answers are sufficient. Number 39 gets a little blurry, but you can look in your book there if you need to and make sure you can see all the numbers. Let's simplify the numerator first. 13 minus 4 is 9. Now let's simplify the denominator. I don't see any parentheses or brackets, but I do see an exponent. So I have 18 minus what? 16 plus 1. Because 4 squared is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. 18 minus 16 is 2. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So the entire denominator becomes 3. Alright? So 9 over 3 is 9 divided by 3. Your answer is just 3. If you want to reduce this and put 3 over 1 for your answer, I have no problem with that. 3 is a fine answer. 3 over 1 is also a fine answer. Okay? Alright guys, that's it for today. I really hope this homework help video has been a help to you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call or email.